Hello and welcome. This is H the John, and I'm about to play, or show you how I play, basically, Total War. It is the DarthMod version. It's a mod that greatly enhances some of the aspects of the game. For instance, I can play as Inuit Nations, Iroquois Confederacy. I've also added a smaller mod which also modifies not only the game but also modifies the DarthMod mod. Called Causa Belli, which gives me a little bit more diversity in the units for the smaller nations. For those of you who don't want to watch the entire video and instead would just like to have the heads up of what's going on, here's a list of the things that you will see in this video. I will destroy the port, building a trade port in my main city. I will max out my internal development buildings. I will build an army big enough to take on the pirates. I will start trade with Britain and Spain if possible. In this video, it was not possible. I will then conquer the pirates. And then I would like to send ships to trade in the outposts between the major continents, like the Far East and the Ivory Coast. And if you're successful and are not conquered by this time, you should raise money and then conquer North Africa. I want to play Knights of St. John because they're pretty cool. So you see here, not playable because traditionally they are not playable, but we're going to play as St. John, and hopefully we're going to rock. There's your little country right off the bat. First thing I do is I'll get my ship back into ports because I don't really care. I'm going to use them to carry troops here in a while. I take care of my naval yard by doing this. I burn it so I can build a different type. Then I also upgrade my infrastructure as much as I can. And basically from there on, I skip to the next bit. Now on my first turn, almost inevitably, I will get the opportunity to attack some of my enemy ships. But I'm going to turn that opportunity down, and I'll show you that here in a second, if it pops up this time. There it goes. Okay, I've got the CPU movements turned off, so I don't have to look at all the CPU movements, which is kind of a faster way to do it, but at the same time, it can be a little confusing because if, for instance, these guys were to blockade me, I wouldn't necessarily go and kill them, but they would be killed by another nation, and I wouldn't necessarily see who did it. So that would be a little bit confusing. Anyway, I turn this opportunity down because I just don't care. Everybody hates them, and so somebody will come out with a big navy and destroy them. We just won't see that. All right, so yeah, so now I'm going to end turn. You can at some point, if you wish, mess with the taxes. Just double click here. You got 25 and 9, so you're pretty happy in the upper class. The lower class, not so happy. You're shrinking, total growth -1. That's going to change when these things are upgraded. And you can change the tax rate. You'll get more tax income, but if you watch, like I'll improve the nobility taxes, making it higher. My order goes down, and look how much growth I get, -13. So in the long run, it can be negative. For short run, it gets you more money, but in the long run, it has a negative effects on your overall income. So that's what's going to happen. These are going to be building. I am going to build a trading port so I can trade with other nations. Trade is pretty awesome. It gets you some money if it's done right. And on top of that, it allows you to increase your diplomatic relations with certain nations, which is a good thing depending on which nations you are trying to not get to kill you. I find that I think Spain and England end up being the nations that will invade me the most. So I try to make trade pacts with them. I just almost never can for some reason. Anyway, so there's that. 4 more turns. We'll be back when this is completed. Actually, it has not been 4 rounds, but my port is finished, so I want to do some trading. Like I said, I would like to trade mostly with Great Britain and Spain, but as you can tell, that's just not going to happen. I can try with Persia, but they have never accepted a trade deal from me. So I want to go with the Ottomans because they're generally open to the idea. And another thing, well, look who their allies are. Look who their enemies are. Austria, Russia, pirates, and Venice. Not the biggest piratish people in the world. So that's a big deal that they not be at war with a lot of people. These are enemies, but we'll see how that works. So they're going to send a proposal. They agree. So I should be able to trade with them. They're at war with these countries, but maybe I'll get some trade anyway. We'll see. I'll look at this. Trade 713, so it's not being barricaded right now. Another thing I want to look at, let's look at minor nations, because I can have 2 trading routes. Louisiana, I mean, they're kind of big. They're at war with the Barbaries, the pirates, though, so not 100% sure that anything is going to get through to them. But if you look, almost all of them are going to be at war with the Barbary and the pirates. Everybody hates the Barbary. 13 colonies. I mean, that's actually pretty huge. I'd be delighted that... Oh, they did go for it. All right, so maybe that'll help with my income. Let's go back and look at trade. 506 to 713. That's actually not too bad. All right, so now we are waiting for this infrastructure to finish. 2 more rounds, so we'll be back in 2 more rounds. Building construction, the military governor's barracks. That's good. Now I'm going to build this, which will take 6 rounds. It adds to repression, which is more people following the government rather than revolting. There's a 12% bonus for reaching tax income, which is good, and it increases my recruitment. Most of this is not really very helpful, but I do it because I want to max out my level of my building. I think there's actually this one or the next one may be the last one. I'm not sure. So we'll see. I do want to make troops to go to and take over the pirates, but not the first round. I'm only going to produce troops for 5 rounds. Another thing I want to do is I do want to build 1 more ship in the Navy. I'm going to build a 5th rate, but it only takes 2 rounds. So I'm going to wait until that's the very last possible moment so I can get more money. Speaking of more money, let's look at our trade. Still doing, nobody's blocking it, which is pretty awesome. Long-term trading partner with a country for a long time gradually increases the value of your trade route. Each turn, a small stability bonus is added to your income for each route. If the trade agreement is canceled, the bonus income is lost. So that's pretty cool. All right. We'll be back, and I think next round to begin producing more troops. Okay, here comes the expensive part, recruitment. I am going to the islands, and I will be fighting against pirates, so cavalry is going to be very useful, and then I want line infantry. Skirmishers, not so much. So I want to get troops for 5 whole turns. So basically, fill this whole thing up for troops, and then that will give me troops. And it takes me 2 rounds to build this. So in 3 rounds, I'm going to come back and build a ship. So I will have a ship available to protect this harbor from these super annoying people down here who constantly sending up little tiny fleets to try to defeat me. We'll be able to hold them off with a 5th rate, I hope. Alright, so I'll be back in 2 rounds. Okay, the Barbary Coast wants to get paid to form a peace treaty with me. I'm not going to accept this because in the long run, I want to invade and take over their lands. Now, you can't accept it. It will save you, on long term, some money. The only bad thing about it is they are a protectorate of the Ottoman Empire. So right now, you are not at war with the Ottoman Empire because they declared war on you. So if you make a peace, then you can't declare war on them because they're protected of the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire, frankly, will clean the floor with your dead body. They do have a lot of enemies, so it is kind of paramount that you eventually, quickly-ish, in the long term, do take over some land from them if you want to get anything that's left over. But no, I'm not going to make peace with them in the hopes that I can at least take 1 or 2 provinces from them eventually. And another thing, I mean, I'm not done building here or recruiting. These ministers, check your ministers out. You know, if you have ones that are particularly nasty, like this guy does nothing for me. Why would I keep him? And this guy is honest. So now I've got -2 recruitment costs for all land units, plus 2% land military technology. That doesn't really help me, but it reduces the cost and upkeep of my army as opposed to that goofball who was there already. So I like him. I'm going to use him as an advisor and then go to the next turn. All right, at this point I have 2 more rounds, so I want to get that 6th rate started. Boom, in 2 more rounds I'll have a 6th rate, which I can leave here to protect the harbor, maybe with one of the other ships. It's expensive, but I think in the long run it saves you time and effort. If you don't want to do that, they will come if you don't have any ships here and blockade you, which costs you several thousand gold per turn. There's another building constructed. Sovereign should inspire awe and dread in equal measure. So that's all these cool things you can read about there at the Royal Palace. And now I can click, find out about building. The government building improves public order and enhances tax revenue. It adds +1 happiness to both classes, 1,250 to regional wealth, and enhances the national prestige, which is awesome. It does all those things. So naturally, I am going to build it, although it's kind of expensive. And as you can tell, my recruitment is done. So what we're going to do is we're going to move the army out to this area here.
Avanti in marcha!
We're going to embark all of these except for the pikemen. All right. And accept and make sure your army disappears. It's very easy to push the wrong button and then have nothing in your navy. And there's your navy. This is the brand new one, I believe. 25. 6th rate. No, maybe that one is. Anyway, I'm going to read this one and this one here.
Ordini, capitano. Signore?
There. Now, this is the navy that has the
Sì,
army on it. Yeah.
La nave è in condizioni
Yes.
perfette, capitano.
There we go. So now we make small movements.
Vele spiegate. Pronti.
This is the army that's going to the navy that's going to stay
Piegare le
here.
vele. Verso dove, capitano?
All right, so there we go. And we're going to take this navy all the way to the New World for a surprise attack on the pirates. If you put a ship right in the middle, it blocks all traffic, which is something to be aware of. All right, so there's the end of that turn. Next turn, it'll go to North America. And there's the indicator. Fleet arrived. All right, so click on this. And we want to go to the closest one, which I think is going to be this. So I put my little target there. And there we go. Into the harbor and land.
Avanti!
It looks like we're going to be able to take this without a fight. Demand their surrender.
Assedio è tolto.
They take it. Okay, so I don't know why this happens. No matter what condition you take the place, it's damaged. So whatever. We're going to repair that one. This is a shipyard. We want to burn that one and replace it with a trading dock. I'm going to check the population. They're already happy because I guess when you surrender, this doesn't change very much. I don't know. It's good. I'm happy with it. So there's that. So we'll come back next round and fix some of that. Okay, next round. I don't know why it's still smoking. There isn't actually anything damaged. We want to build the trading post. Again, notice the expense involved here. And we want to build this. Let's see what the situation is when we move our army out.
Avanti!
Not too bad. So let's recruit 2 units to occupy the town and the port.
Sì.
We'll put these in here.
In marcha! Avanti!
We don't need to repair them because they didn't cause any damage. And we'll get them on board ship. There we go.
A sinistra! In marcha!
And then there's our navy. Get the whole thing loaded.
Ordini ricevuti, capitano.
So there is the next one. Antigua Lee Islands. And where's the other one? Or have they already conquered? There's usually 3 of them, but the pirates France. On occasion, the game automatically takes over one of the pirate places. Yeah, this is formerly a pirate location, I believe, this right here. So somebody took it over. So that means I've got to take the Antigua, is all that's left.
Pronti all'azione, cani!
Uomini, avanti!
They are not going to surrender. They've got too many troops. I mean, I'm going to demand surrender. Turns until surrender 2. So, yeah. It's only going to siege 2 turns. It's no big deal. So I'm going to siege them for 2 turns.
Si nascondono dietro alle gonne.
Okay, it looks like they did not want to actually surrender. They came out to fight. Which I'm okay with, because I am going to kick their backside up between their teeth, basically. So we will attack. You can actually auto-resolve battle, but I find that I do better than machine often. So it's up to you. But you will win this. I mean, there's no question about it. It's up to you. Although I did bring some militia with me. I shouldn't have brought the militia with me. Anyway, I'm going to attack. They're going to break. Send in the cavalry to take care of them. And there's the battle. It's a victory. Yay! Heroic victory. Lots of enemy killed. Some of mine are killed. Which is sad. Okay. We took their island. Now we've got to fix the place. We've got to double click. Not as happy as they were when I took this place. This place actually... Let's do that and then recruit 2 more of those, because I accidentally took my other ones up here. Let's burn that so I can replace it with a trading post here in a second. +2 trade routes possible at sea. So I don't understand what this means. I thought that I could have more trade routes because I've only got 2 available. But as you can tell, I can't open any more trade routes. I don't know if this is a bug or a what. Because I very much would like to trade with Great Britain and Spain, because they're horrible and powerful, and I don't want to upset them any more than I absolutely positively have to. Alright, so there's that army. Let us spend the rest of our money by going replenish. And that was painful. Well, thank goodness there's not going to be actually any huge revolts here. So we'll come back in 2 turns when I've got this trade center built. And this right here is the end of the game. This is what happens when you can't make Great Britain like you. They declare war on you and kill you, and then you're dead. Oh look, we're blockaded. Surprise, surprise. Oh, and they canceled the trade agreement. Surprise, surprise. Basically, the only thing you can do is beg. Saving you from horseplay, your property rejected utterly. Okay. Present state gifts. There you go. Bribe. Request peace. Would find these tames on it. So yeah, you're dead. There's no way that you can win this against you're fighting Great Britain. You can look at your trade here. The Ottoman Empire, yeah. Spain is dangerous and Great Britain is dangerous. Oh well, maybe we'll survive long enough to make peace with them. I don't know. We'll see. They can't attack us here because I have ships in the port and there's nowhere to land their troops. So maybe they'll get tired after a round or 2 and decide that it's not worth the pain and effort of invading me. Well, once again, we are going to go to the Great Britain, open negotiations, and request peace. Would find these terms on, yeah. Yeah, absolutely not anything we can do about that. Well, once again, I go before them in the hopes that they will little commend them. Yeah. Let's open negotiations with France. Request trade agreement. All right. Well, at least I have a friend who is terrifying as well. So maybe they won't. I don't know. Maybe they won't like Great Britain attacking me, and they'll talk to Great Britain for me. But either way, and I'm actually getting trade from France. That's interesting. The British are not blockading them, or me for that matter. I don't understand that, but I'm not going to look at gift horse and the mouse. All right, one more round for that port, and that should be trading. But again, I can only do 2, and I've got more. I should be able to do more. I don't understand that. Maybe it's because I am a mini nation. All right, we'll come back with something exciting happens. Once again, we are going to go to Great Britain and beg them to end the war with us. Yeah, not going to happen. So I've got all this recruitment done. So let's move them. Everybody who's line infantry. No, 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 and no. Into here.
In marcia! Avanti!
Good. Good, 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 good. That works. Move them onto ships. Except for this group. Alright, then take the Navy. Recruit that one. And then take the rest of it back to Europe and hope that I don't get killed by the British Navy before I can get to North Africa. We'll see. Okay, my ships have made it all the way here. I think they're all going to get sunk.
Ufficiale sul ponte.
Because...
Sì, Vostra Maestà.
Yeah, okay.
Servo vostro, signore. Pronti alla battaglia!
Yeah, we're heading towards the regional capital, trying to take the Barbary coast over. We're going to be safe from them because I just took over this, so... And it's a shipyard, don't really care. So this might work out just as well, just much more painful this way, I guess. So we get up to their capital, and they've got these 4 jokers. I mean, that's... Demand surrender, they accept. That's going to make this a lot easier. -6. So we're going to repair this. Taking over a country is very expensive. Very expensive. So I don't know how this is going to turn out. Right here. Let's right click to see what the... Yeah. This is a regular shipyard, so... Ha. Ha. To coin a phrase. Ha. They're exempt from taxes. I am not going to fix that, because I think I'm going to need all the money I can get if this place is not sacked and burned by a very unhappy populace. That will be great. We'll see. And workers on strike. Let's double click on that. But that was the only thing they did. They struck. Which is good because now it's 0, even with exempt tax. So in 2 more rounds this will be making money. Let us replace this. Yeah. So this is how you do it. You take the pirates first, I think. And if we were not at war, it would be I would be making money over so much money. You open trade routes, you send trade ships to these little points. They give you tons of extra money. But when you're at war with somebody, you can't do that because your trade ships get wiped off the planet by their constant. So locked up like this, I'm still doing fairly well. So basically, I've kind of lost the game because Great Britain attacked me, and I can't really do anything about this situation right here. Largely because Great Britain has had me penned in for a very long time. That is the problem with playing a tiny little country. You end up having bad days like this. When giant, enormous countries with no logical reason attack you, even though they don't really have a reason to. Yeah. So, if you can make peace with Great Britain early on, do it. Great Britain and Spain are the ones that try to attack you. They really can't do much to you because you're an island nation. And if you manage to take over North Africa, they really can't do too much to you unless they're Spain, because then Spain can walk across land. Great Britain can't. Great Britain has to have a dock. Or in case if you don't go to Great Britain, you go to war with the Ottomans. In that case, they can walk across land. But yeah, unfortunately, that's not going to end so well for me. So this is Ageless John. This is an awesome mod. I suggest if you can figure out how to get it to run, there are several tutorials on YouTube about this. The DarthMod, I'll put a link below to that, and Causa Belli, which is what I'm using. It's not perfect, but it's fun. So this has been Ageless John playing Total War, and I will see you around.